Hi, my name is Logan James Hall. I'm an acting intern here at ASF. Born and raised in a little tiny town in the middle of nowhere in Oregon. To get here, I went to college and then decided I wanted to be an actor, so I went to conservatory in New York City. Spent a couple years doing that, and I've been acting in the city ever since. Got hired on an ASF, and I'm super excited to be down here and doing this. The Tom Sawyer project is a really interesting piece of theater for me because it's one of the first pieces of interactive theater so that we get to talk to you guys. And we actually get to try and have a dialogue with our audience, which is very rare in theater because of that fourth wall stage where you're out there in the dark and we're up there in the lights, and we don't really get to see each other as much. It's been a really fun project so far. I'm playing actor number one, which is Joe Harper, which is one of Tom's best friends. The lawyer for the defense, which is obviously the lawyer for the defense, and the accomplice, which is Injun Joe's second handyman. It's been really interesting as far as playing with all three of those characters because they're all very different people. You have one is a young boy, the other is a older man, but an upstanding good man in society, and the third is somewhere in between. We're not really sure what he is and how he works because he's a bad guy, but he keeps trying to convince the other bad guy from doing worse bad things and only just taking the money and only just stealing, which is bad, you shouldn't do. But is still an interesting idea that he doesn't want to hurt anyone in the process. And so it's finding how bad he is and what drove him to be that bad has been really fun for me. Yeah. It's also going to be a challenge, I think, for all of us. It's been a challenge for all of us to figure out how to play multiple characters in the short span of a few seconds to change, and how we get you guys sitting out there in the audience to understand what we're doing differently, so you see us as completely different people when we walk off stage and then come back on, that we're something totally different. And finally, I have a couple of questions for you guys. As Tom Sawyer's best friend Joe, one of his best friends, I get asked to run away with him, and I do. We run away together. And I'm wondering, I remember as a kid, I remember wanting to run away, and I remember thinking about what does it mean to run away, and I remember running up into my room and taking my bag and just packing it full of whatever I could and slinging it over my shoulder, and I never made it farther than the front door. One time I think I made it to my treehouse. That was about as far as I ever made it, and I came back in a few hours. My question for you is, have you ever run away? If you have, why? And how far did you get before you turned around and came back? Did your parents actually have to come get you? Did you make it down the street to your friend's house? Did you make it to your grandma's? Did you make it to the local supermarket and you were standing outside trying to figure out what to do? I just want to know what running away means to you now. As I knew what it meant to me as a kid, and I seem to know what it means to Joe, but I would also be interested in seeing what it means to you in your life now. I mean, I know that there's some of you that have wanted to. So how far did you get, and why?